A former Rockstar Games employee just revealed his thoughts on some things regarding Grand Theft Auto 6, and then something interesting happened. We'll be talking about all that and more in this video today, so let's get it started. So the ex-Rockstar Games employee we're talking about today is Mike York, and he has since left Rockstar Games, but he actually did an interview with Kiwi Talks, a YouTube channel that essentially interviews game developers. And Kiwi said, new podcast out now with Mike York. We talk about the culture at Rockstar, working on Red Dead Redemption 2, the combat system he pushed for GTA 5, his thoughts on Grand Theft Auto 6, the Hauser brothers, and more. And what's very interesting as we sort of talk about what he had to say is, as things currently stand, the podcast has actually been removed. This is an update from Kiwi. Unfortunately, at the request of Mike, I have had to take down my latest interviews. Apologies, everyone. I will have an awesome podcast guest next week, though, so watch this space. So that is very interesting. And what's even more interesting is Mike told him to take it down, even though he agreed to the interview. So it begs the question, did he share too much and realize it? Did someone from Rockstar reach out to him and say, hey, you can't be talking about that sort of stuff? And they made him end up taking it down or request it to be taken down. That's what makes the entire thing interesting. But I want to actually dive into what he had to say about Grand Theft Auto 6. So he was essentially asked if the game is going to shoot for 30 FPS or 60 FPS on console, and he said, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off 60 FPS. I don't think so. I think they're going to be shooting for 30 and a locked 30, meaning it never dips below that. They're going to try to optimize it as much as they can to wherever it never goes below 30, but it can be bumped to 40, 41, 52, whatever. And I bet you, like, later, once it's on PC, it'll probably get super optimized and changed, and new graphics cards that come out, and you'll be able to run it at 60 FPS all the time. So honestly, this should not come totally as a surprise. Pretty much every single Rockstar game title that's released on day one on the consoles runs at 30 FPS. It's what Red Dead Redemption did. It's what Grand Theft Auto 5 did. And given what we've seen in the GTA 6 trailer, getting a stable 30 FPS does sound like it would be a technological miracle. Now, he goes on to say this, I don't think the initial release will come out at 60 FPS unless it's getting those 60 FPS by using an AI upscaler thing like the PlayStation is doing, unless something is coming in and helping it get those 60 FPS. I don't think it'll get the 60 FPS raw out of the gate on a base PS5 console, for instance, maybe PS5 Pro or whatever, but I still don't think so. Now, it is important to note that Mike York has not worked at Rockstar since 2017, although he did do a lot of work on GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, and there was a good chance there was some initial work that was starting on Grand Theft Auto 6 over there. He goes on to say this, I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know how massive this is going to be, but from my experience, they're going to squeeze every little freaking thing they can out of it and optimize later for 60 frames, because it's not as important as just making the game amazing at 30 frames. And I think that last statement is important. Rockstar doesn't want to sacrifice all the things they want to put into the game just so that they can get to 60 FPS on day one. That's never something they've done. Again, Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, GTA 4, all of them started at 30 FPS, probably for a reason, because Rockstar is always pushing the technical and graphical limits of the consoles that they put their games out on. Now, it does beg the question, what caused this podcast to be removed? Was it him talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 and his thoughts on how it's ultimately going to run? I don't really think that's the case. Again, just going off of the description, unfortunately, I didn't get to listen to the entire podcast, but they did talk about the Hauser brothers and the culture at Rockstar, so maybe that sort of stuff was what caused it to be taken down. I'm really not too sure if we will get a clear answer here, but for now, we do know, like everyone probably expects, on day one, it's going to be 30 FPS. That's what Rockstar is going to be going for, which I know for me is always a little bit hard to get used to because for the most part, you're always playing games at 60 FPS, if not higher. And then when you jump back to a Rockstar title on day one, going back to 30 FPS, it's like, man, this feels a little bit strange. But then I think we all get used to it, and obviously the more you play with it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. Do you think GTA 6 is going to run at 30 FPS, better or worse, somewhere in the middle? Do you think that it will be 30 FPS on base consoles? Do you think like the PlayStation 5 Pro or whatever the next version of the Xbox is going to be able to get it up higher? Do you think that will only be reserved for PC? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. And so now really all we can do is wait to hear from Rockstar Games next. And it could be over the next 24 hours or so that we finally do get some sort of confirmation of what they're up to next. We probably are months away from being able to determine whether or not it's going to run at either 30 FPS or 60 FPS. But tomorrow is January 31st. It's the last day of the month, obviously. And this is traditionally when Rockstar have made their announcements on what they plan to do with their games that are coming out this year, whether they're going to be delayed or whether they're going to have their release date finalized. They did this with Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 4, Max Payne 3. All of those announcements, with the exception of one, which happened on February 1st, occurred at the end of the month. And this, of course, is perfect timing because it happens right before Take-Two Interactive's earnings call happening on February 6th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we could really be 24 hours away until we hear from Rockstar Games next. And honestly, the stars are lining up because Friday is the perfect day for Rockstar to make their announcements. It's what they've done traditionally for almost all GTA 6 news that they've ended up putting out. Like, for example, the community update that they put out in 2022. That was done on a Friday. On December 1st, 2023, when Rockstar Games announced that the GTA 6 trailer was going to be coming out a couple of days later on December 5th, 2023. That was also on a Friday. So Rockstar love Fridays for their announcements. It happens to align up perfectly with the patterns and the history that they've done over their last couple of game releases and over the last couple of years. So tomorrow really could look like the day, and they've sort of cleared the way with a bunch of other announcements that they seemingly got out of the way the last couple of days. Like, for example, it's been a pretty standard week. On Tuesday, January 28th, they talked about the current Red Dead Online bonuses that are going on right now. That's something we typically see on a Tuesday. Just the other day, on Wednesday, we saw Rockstar wishing everyone around the world a happy Lunar New Year, posting a handful of different artworks and pictures and all the different rewards that we would get by participating in all the different things that Rockstar Games has going on. Again, they showed off some pretty cool pictures right there. And today, they gave us a new GTA Online event week, which again has to do with a typical set of bonuses and rewards that they hand out. So it's a pretty standard week, which is good because it kind of clears the way for potentially tomorrow being that day in which Rockstar makes some sort of announcement. So I'm going to keep my eyes and ears peeled. And even though Rockstar Games in the past have made major announcements on weekends, I just don't expect them to do something like this time around, especially with Grand Theft Auto 6. So tomorrow is really a day I'm going to circle on the calendar. I think many people are circling it on the calendar as well. So let me know what you think in those comments down below. Do you think over the next 24 hours, based on Rockstar's history, will we get some GTA 6 news and info? Or do you think they'll save it for later next week, possibly right before the earnings call or even on the day of the earnings call? Let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.